So what if I took a Les Paul body plus a Strat, put them together, what would that come out to be? Well, I'm going to find out. So I've got parts, lots of parts. Some are used, some are brand new, still in their packages. I've got pickups. I've got more pickups over here. I got bridges, Wilkinson's Bridge, Floyd Rose 1000, Tunamatics. I've got more parts over here, just piling up. I got some more parts in these boxes. And then, of course, I got parts sitting all over the counter. Bunch of stuff that I've collected throughout the years that I stocked up on, just in case I was going to do something like I'm doing right now. So what am I doing right now? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. I am doing just great. Yeah, so I learned years ago not to throw away anything unless it's broken. So what you saw as far as my little, tackle box goes and my bins and everything else, a lot of that is new parts and a lot of that are used parts that I stocked up on, and never know when you're going to need a part, need something, and it just works out because there's a lot of times when I've built shit and I got to order something. Well, ordering something takes time, money, and stock up on it so I don't have to. Pots are one of the things that I really stock up on because I never recycle used pots. Output jacks and switches, those are iffy because they can be cleaned and they'll work properly afterwards, depending on what condition. If they're full of crap, rust or whatever, then they get tossed. But that's why I stock up on, or have stocked up on, everything that I needed. Plus a lot of the screws and stuff from old guitars or whatever, I've saved all that stuff too. Springs for tremolos, I've got new tremolos, I've got used tremolos, I've got new bridges, used bridges. The only thing I don't like are the cheap Epiphone bridges that have the Tunamatic bridge with the spring that goes across them. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's got like some type of a spring that goes over the tops of the intonation screws, and that just feels cheap, looks cheap, and is garbage worthy. So I'll toss that out. So a lot of the stuff that I've been doing here as far as my build for the Mick Mars Star guitar, a lot of those parts, everything I've already have, brand new, sitting around doing nothing. A lot of the screws and stuff have been recycled screws that are, nothing's wrong with them. This is no exception. I'm going to end up using all parts that I already have and already accumulated to build this guitar, which works out pretty good because I'm getting overloaded with parts and I have no place else to put them. You saw my tackle box, that thing is stuffed. My bins that are behind me that I have up against the wall with drawers in it, that stuff, now I've got boxes laying around with parts inside of it. So this is going to work out good with me because I got a couple bodies of blanks that I bought years ago that have been sitting in the storage area. I did like unboxings of them. I don't know how long ago I did unboxing of these and never used them. And now that I finally got around and got a little bit of a kick in the ass to do a build, I'm wanting to do more of them and possibly get into more other stuff as far as building goes as well. All right, so the Polecaster, or Les-Strat, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be a combination of a Les Paul body with a Strat electronics and configuration, 25-inch scale length, and yeah, so I'm going to kind of see what this mix-up is going to be like. I'm sure it'll work out. I don't think there'll be any issues or any problems with it or any, nothing. I'm sure it'll get sound. I'm sure it'll probably sound good. Who knows? Some people say that the body of the guitar does a lot for the way the guitar sounds. Now, that part I'm not like believing in too much, because electrics and acoustics are different. So acoustically, yeah, this is going to sound different than a Stratocaster being on a Les Paul body. It might be a little bit more acoustic, a little bit louder, being that this is a bigger body than what a Strat would be. So that might be a big difference. But as far as sound goes, and the pickups is what collects the information and spits it out to your amplifier to produce the sound that you're looking for, along with pedals or effects and stuff like that. So how did I get this idea of taking a Les Paul body and throwing Fender or Strat style electronics into it and coming up with this maybe odd idea? Well, you see a lot of Fender guitars out there, or you see a lot of Strat style guitars with humbuckers, but you don't see a lot of Les Pauls with Strat style electronics on it. You may see a center pickup on a few of them. You may see something where it's got mini pickups on it, mini humbuckers, but not really in a Strat style way. So I was on eBay, and I have a couple guitars that I ended up selling on eBay, looking at different guitars, and then started doing, going online and looking up on Google. Same thing like I did with the Star guitar, trying to figure out information about, well, how many, if they were mass produced, if there are any Strat style Les Pauls. And really didn't find too much, unless it was like a custom build or something that somebody came up with. So I'm like, well, I was telling my friend, I'm going to do this. And he's like, that sounds like a good idea. But he's not a big fan of single coils. I'm like, well, there's a way around that. I can use mini humbuckers, Strat style mini humbuckers, Strat replacements, single coil replacements. So I was like, yeah, this will work out pretty cool. This will be an interesting build, and see how it sounds. Now, I don't believe in tone woods, okay? So, and there's no arguing about it or anything. I just don't believe in it. Acoustic guitars and solid body guitars are different, period. You have one that is using a big wooden box that's hollowed out as your speaker, and you're using one that has pickups in it that takes the information from rotating strings and converts it into sound through an amplifier, give or take effects or whatever. But acoustically, this is going to sound differently. So if you take this body and a Strat body and you strum it, yes, this has got a bigger body. The reflection off of the sound that reflects off of this is going to be a lot different than what it would be with a Strat. So that's one thing, but that doesn't mean anything as far as the pickups go. So putting Strat style pickups on a body like this, will that be a difference? Well, if you believe in tone wood, it may be, but in my case, no, it shouldn't be. But it would be an interesting look and combination of different settings that you could do. Now, if I go with single coils, well, then it'll be exactly like a Strat. If I go with mini humbuckers that are for Strat style guitars, well, now you get the best of both worlds. So mounting up the template wasn't really a problem with this at all. The only issue I had is this board is not square, and finding center off the edges, don't even bother with it, because once I found out that this board was not square, measured differently. So the center board here is perfectly even on both sides, and what I ended up doing is finding center with that. Now, the nice thing about this is, with this center board being where it's at and how it is, makes the whole look of the guitar different and more, I don't know what you would say, unique, with the stripe going down. Well, if the stripe is crooked or it doesn't look right in the body of the guitar, well, then it doesn't look right, and making sure that that's even going down the center makes everything look a lot better. So mounting up my template, I was using a punch to locate center or over center of my line. There is a center line that goes through the template itself, and then using the punch for a guide for drilling, and then putting my screws in and mounting this up. So I got my outside line on this, and one of the things I learned from building the Star guitar was, well, don't leave a lot of overhang off the edge of the template for routing, because that just makes more work for you. So with this one here is I kind of brought the edge for cutting line in closer to the template. This way I don't have a lot of routing to do and a lot of work to do with getting rid of, you know, the extra overhang. Pickups. How is this going to be? Where are they going to be located? How is this going to work? So what I ended up doing is I took my template, which this is not really a template. This is a pickguard that I picked up. This was a loaded pickguard. I picked it up, and here's the skew and everything off of it. If you can kind of see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. But this has a set of, what are they? 131, 132, 133, and then the electronics I ended up replacing because they were, you know, cheap electronics. I put CTS pots on here and everything else. And this is going to be for a guitar that I had a long time ago that we had a choice between customizing it electronically, the aesthetically, as far as the way the appearance looked of it. It looked fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I believe it was blue. And did a giveaway with that guitar. So I had a choice between pickguards here. I could have used this one here, which is a left-handed pickguard, or I could have used the other one that I ended up modifying with mini humbuckers that fit and look like Strat style humbuckers or pickup single coils. Three switches on there, so I can split each coil, so you get the best of both worlds as far as humbuckers and single coils go. Well, I took this pickguard apart. It's like, okay, well, I need to find out where these pickups are going to be located and how far apart they're going to be. I don't have any Strats. I don't like Strats, okay? So, especially like these type of Strats. So what I ended up doing is I lined this up, and it's like, okay, well, where the humbucker begins is exactly where the neck is. Same thing with this template. Well, sorry, keep calling it a template, pickguard. So what I ended up doing is drawing a straight line across here, and then finding out what exactly the size is as this goes, measuring it again. Now I have a bunch of StuMac templates that I picked up years ago that I haven't really been using, nothing but the humbucker templates. Finally, I've been able to use the neck templates, and now I'll be able to use the single coil pickup cavities. This one here is for a Strat. Now, the other set that I have is for Telecaster. Don't think that you could take a Strat and use a Telecaster template to cut your route out. They're different. So they're not, they may look the same, but the Strat style is a little bit larger than the Telecaster style. And I've got them to compare them to. So what I end up doing is these have a center mark built in. Lined it up with that line on the top, matching my center line with the body that I drew on the board. And there's my first pickup. So then I measured where the second pickup is going to go, and then I ended up putting the second pickup, measuring where the third pickup is going to go, and now this one's on an angle a little bit, and got that one where it's supposed to go as well. So this is going to be the same distance as from the neck to the next pickup to the next pickup to the bridge. Now what I also did with this as well is I took and put the template on top of here, god damn it, pickguard on top of here, and I took a regular bridge and put it over here. The distance where the saddles are is right where it would be or end up with a Strat if this was just going to be a regular Strat with a floating bridge. So this worked out perfect. This is where I'm at right now. I've already knocked in, punched in where the pneumatic bridge and the tailpiece is going to go. Now all I got to do is cut this baby out and start making it look like something. Alright, so the rough body shape has been cut out. Now it's time to put the template on here and hit it with the router. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so here she is. All routed out. Got to do the control cavity. I need to thin out this body a little bit. This has got some weight to it. But yeah, it just came out really, really nice. I'll take the covers, put them in here, tilt this a little bit. These are all parts that I've already had, so nothing is really, you know me with my Wilkinson's roller bridges. I've got tons of them. So I'll go ahead and put this where this is mocked up at, and that's right about there. This goes right on top of those dots right there. And of course, I'll be using a pointed headstock. And put this in. Right there. Slides in, not like a glove. It's snug, but not overly snug. So yeah. Let's see Gibson send me a cease and desist. Take care, guys.